Stock markets were in the red across the board yesterday as sentiment weakened on the back of the Fed minutes, reminding investors that the economy is still not in good shape. The JSE today will be hoping to benefit from firmer higher Asian markets, with sentiment boosted by news that drug maker Pfizer may get regulatory approval for a COVID-19 vaccine as early as October. For a closer look at what sentiments are driving the markets this morning, we're joined now by Michael Treherne, Portfolio Manager at Vestac. Michael, a very good morning to you. Thanks for joining us this morning. Give us a sense of how the markets have opened after closing just under 2% flat yesterday.
Yes, and Paul, we are strongly in the green today. Only 3 shares in the JSE Top 40 are in the red. The rest all green. So JSE all share up 1.2%. And that's following on from the Asian positive sentiment that you were talking about earlier. The world is just feeling better. Strong economic data coming through, and it looks like we're getting on top of this virus.
And gold prices rose in early trade. Take us through what those figures are looking like.
Yes, the gold has been hovering around the $2,000 an ounce mark, currently at $1,943. And that's based on low interest rates that we're seeing. Generally, a weaker dollar also increases the gold price, with the dollar being weak. And general tensions between the US and China is always good news for a gold price. So we're seeing it hover around that $2,000 an ounce. And because of that, we're seeing our gold miners do really, really well. Gold Fields coming out yesterday and saying that their profits are going to be up 300% for the year. So that's some positive news, a bit of a glitter, as you can call it, for local markets.
And oil prices rose in early trade, and oil looks on track for a third straight week of gains. How's this commodity looking as we speak?
Oil at the moment is flat for the morning, but that's good news for the consumer. Currently at $44.86 a barrel, and as you say, it's on track for its third week of gains. 2 things driving that. One is the gradual economic recovery that we're seeing globally. Chinese data out last week showed that the Chinese economy is looking strong, and general economic data out looking strong. And then the other thing driving it is an OPEC meeting where OPEC members agreed to keep a lid on their production numbers. And obviously, if you've got growing demand and limited supply, that pushes up oil prices. So those 2 factors have been pushing oil higher, and we're now just below $45 a barrel.
As we go back to the US, we know that the jobless claims data was bleak. Do these numbers now reinforce fears of a slow recovery from the coronavirus-induced economic crisis?
So these jobless numbers are released on a weekly basis. It's every Thursday. And last week we saw the number drop to below 1 million people for the week. This week we saw it increase to 1.1 million, which was unexpected. It is worth noting, though, that the overall number of people who are claiming unemployment benefits from the state has actually decreased. So initial, which means that someone who's claiming for the first time, that has increased, but the overall number has decreased. And I think that points to a larger direction that the US economy is going in, that things are getting better. It is worth pointing out that at its worst, there was almost 7 million people applying for jobless or unemployment benefits. And it's now only at 1 million. I suppose 1 million is still a lot, but it is improving. And what is really benefits for the US economy is the size of those unemployment checks that people get. It really helps them get through this period and will help the economy bounce back very quickly.
And very lastly, Michael, Elon Musk's Tesla passed the $2,000 a share last night. Take us through that share move.
Sure. What a rise, meteoric rise for that share price. Exactly a year ago, the share price was at $220. It's now $2,000 a share. A lot of that growth has been because they built an entire factory in China in around 10 months last year. And it showed investors how quickly Elon Musk can scale things up. It's worth noting that the company is now worth $370 billion, or roughly the same size as South Africa's GDP. Elon Musk's personal wealth is now worth $95 billion. He's the 4th richest man in the world. So good on to him. I suppose it's good to see ex-South Africans doing well.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time. Portfolio Manager at Vestac, Michael Treherne, giving us a sense of what sentiments are driving the markets this morning.